All right, everybody. Week 18 of the Fantasy Blueprint. You got me and my brother, C Swag, brother from the same mother. Uh, Britton Flowers, shout out to you. He's out in Dallas working with the youth group. He is a aspiring youth pastor. I'm just kidding. Aspiring youth pastor, but he is helping the youth pastor out there in Passion in Dallas, leading some kids to Christ, doing the Lord's work. We appreciate you, Britton. Let's give a quick round of applause for Britton out there doing the Lord's work. And to drive that bus out there, and he was about to poop his pants, he said, having to drive that mini bus around in Dallas. So we appreciate you taking one for the team, Britton. We miss you.
All around great guy, man.
Yeah, just a great guy. Just great. A1, A+ guy. So let's start this off, Cole. We'll jump right into it. I'm gonna name some incentive players this week. It's week 18. We got money on the line. We got guys wanting to give the old celebration after they get it. Every time they get that incentive, they give the money throwing celebration. So I'm gonna name
a lot of guys that have incentives that need the money right now, and I'll get into that more in just a minute.
That's true. We got some guys that need it. So I'm gonna name these off real quick. I'm gonna go quick rundown, and then at the very end, I want you to pick the one that you like the most. All right. So got Stephon Diggs needs 8 catches for 30 yards to get his $1 million incentive. He's listed at 6,300 against a Miami defense. So that's a guy with an incentive on the line. Also, you got Keenan Allen who needs 6 catches for 9 yards going up against Denver for $1 million, listed at 4,600. And then you got Sammy D playing on Sunday night who needs 150 pass yards and 3 passing touchdowns to get his $1 million incentive. He listed at 5,800. Then you got 2 guys for the Buffalo Bills, Dawson Knox and Khalil Shakir. Knox is listed at 3,600. Shakir is at 5,000. Knox needs 6 receptions, 1 touchdown, and 7 yards to meet his incentive to get $300K. Shakir needs 8 receptions, 1 touchdown, and possibly 2 touchdowns to get his $450,000 total if he gets all 3 of those. And then you got Marquise Hollywood Brown for the Chiefs, who needs 1 touchdown to get $750,000 against the Vegas Raiders. He's listed at 4,000 salary. Then you got Rico Dowdle listed at 5,900, who just needs 1 touchdown and 7 yards to get $1.25 million for 1 touchdown. That's an expensive touchdown. I got to say, that's the most expensive touchdown of the year. Then you got Saquon Barkley, who needs just 87 total yards to get $250,000. And you got some other incentives like Tony Pollard, who needs 67 total yards to get his bonus. But these 7 plays, I think, are some of the ones that you can find the most value at in Draftkings wise. So, Cole, I'll now pass it to you. Of all of these plays, which one do you like the most based on the salary and the incentive on the line?
Yeah, before we get started, man, week 18, I mean, this is probably one of the best weeks of the season because just for the entertainment standpoint, because a lot of these games, when they hit their incentive, they're going to cut that owner in the box. And that owner's going to be like, and all you're seeing in the back of his head is, I got to pay this dude.
I got to pay this guy.
I got to pay Hollywood Brown $750,000 because our third-string quarterback just threw him a ham bone touchdown. So, the guys I like the most that you mentioned, I think it's going to be Stephon Diggs for me. He needs 8 catches for how many yards? 38, you said?
30, just 30 yards.
Just 30. Okay, so in his last 2 games, he's had 25.8, 25.1. He's had 10 targets on 9 catches and 6 receptions on 6 targets. So he's getting the receptions. Mac Hollins is out, like we discussed. So his potential to get those catches is very high right now. He's playing really well. And we talk about somebody that needs the money. That's who I was kind of alluding to. That man's going to need some money after the news that came out recently. So maybe, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he has a stranglehold on this Miami defense on Sunday.
Yeah, I definitely think Stephon Diggs, if he gets 8 catches, he goes for over 30 yards. So I really do like that. I like that incentive bonus. And we'll touch on a couple more and why we like them when we get towards the value plays. But that's the money on the line for the most part. You get a little bit more money. Debo needs 93 receiving yards. Cole seems to think he's not going to get it. But against Philly, a team probably resting their starters, headed to get ready for the playoffs, it's just a money grab, man. If you got money on the line,
that's one owner that's going to be rested on Sunday. You ain't got to worry about it. It'll be all right.
Well, all right. Anyways, segue now. Going into the quarterback position, we're going to touch on the Saturday and through Sunday slate. So we'll get plays from both nights. That Saturday to Sunday slate goes from 7:20 Saturday night till Sunday night, or it's Sunday night at 7:20. So Saturday, Sunday. Cole, I'll let you start it off first. Give me some quarterbacks that you like this weekend.
Yeah, we mentioned Sam Darnold. I like him a lot, 5,800 with the incentives that he's got. I think that's going to be a lot of people's plays, a lot of people's obvious choice. He could hit those numbers quite easily. He might be able to hit those numbers in the first half with how that offense plays. So Sam Darnold's obvious choice against San Francisco. They're going to have to move the ball and throw the ball, obviously, and 5,800 for 3 touchdowns. I'll take that all day long.
Yep.
Second guy I like is Jackson Dart versus Dallas at 5,700, and the reason I like that is because he's had 23, and then he's had one, he's had 25 in his last 3 games. Now, one in the middle is the definition of volatile, but there is a extreme rookie of the year race going on right now between Tyler Shuck and Jackson Dart,
That's
and
true.
these guys are going to be playing for that rookie of the year and try and get
Right.
them that rookie of the year, and just so they can for optics, for public optics. So I like that. He has a chance to really steal it. And then Dallas is also 32nd in passing yards allowed, 32nd in points allowed, and 20th in or Jackson Dart's had 20 rushing attempts in the last 3 games. So he's starting to use his legs and become more of a running threat as well. Last guy I've got is he's a lottery ticket, I think, mostly because Green Bay is sitting their starters or most of their key players. JJ McCarthy at 5,200. He's got the good weapons. He is going to be missing a couple with Aaron Jones out and Hawkinson out, but he still has Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison on the outside. And if Green Bay does sit their starters, Justin Jefferson is. I'm expecting him to be running wide open most of the day. So those are the 3 guys that I have picked at the quarterback position right now that I like a lot. Tyler Shuck's another guy I could consider because he's just on a heater right now. But I'm a huge Saints guy, so I'm not going to mention him because I don't want to be a homer. I feel like I mentioned a Saints guy way too much. But Gabe, who you got?
Well, me, you, and Britton all have Sam Darnold, so you can count that as the kiss of death. If he gets 150 pass yards at 3 touchdowns, that's 18 fantasy points. That's well above his, not well above, but that is above his salary projection of 17.4 at 5,800. I think if he throws 3 passing touchdowns in this game, he gets over 150. So I think it's an easy path to upside with Sam Darnold. Britton also wanted to mention he's averaging 259 yards a game through the air and 2 passing touchdowns a game. So in his last 3. And it's $1 million, man. Get this guy $1 million. Why not? San Francisco's been not amazing the last few games, especially through the air. Caleb Williams last week had 336 and 2 touchdowns versus the San Francisco defense. I think Jackson Smith and Jigba gets wild, butt naked on this secondary for San Francisco for Sam Darnold.
Old Man Rivers did pretty well against.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, that's true. Old Man Rivers did. If Philip Rivers is scoring throwing touchdowns on you, we need to reevaluate the scheme. Something. We need to
throwing's a crazy word. I'd say looping touchdowns.
That's true. My value play really is Chris Oladukin for the Kansas City Chiefs. You're going to say, why Chris Oladukin? Well, if you look at the 2 matchups he's had in his first 2 starts, the first one, he got put in an absolute just dumpster fire against the Tennessee Titans in a game after they were eliminated from playoff contention. And the Tennessee Titans defense we've seen has been good this year. And he came in cold and had to try and, make something happen in that game. And they were completely uninspired. He really didn't want to be there. So I think that this week he has a good matchup versus Vegas, who is resting a lot of their starters. And then his second game he started was against the Denver Broncos. And that's the best defense in the NFL. And he had 7 points, so he did not absolutely blow it up, but no one really blows it up against Denver unless your name's Marcus Mariota, who absolutely did blow it up against the Denver defense. But he's going up against Vegas. He's at 4,500. Hollywood Brown needs his 750K for that touchdown. That's at least 1 touchdown for Chris Oladukin. And after watching that game last week against Denver, he showed some sneaky rushing upside with speed. I mean, he only had 11 yards rushing, but whenever he scrambled, he looked fast, and he could find his way to a rushing touchdown this weekend against Vegas, I think, and maybe a couple touchdowns. I like Chris Oladukin at 4,500. They had nothing to play for. He's a guy who's I say probably, he's never going to play over Patrick Mahomes. This is his chance to put something on tape and get some money. I like Chris Oladukin. He's probably my favorite quarterback play this week outside of Sam Darnold from a value standpoint. Chris Oladukin, hammer it. And then Trevor Lawrence at 6,400, been on an absolute heater. They're going for the division title against the Titans. He had 21 points against the Titans last week. In his last 5 games, he's averaging 28.7 fantasy points, and he's had 4 rushing touchdowns in 5 weeks. Trevor Lawrence is absolutely killing it. The Titans are in a race for a top 5 pick. I just really don't see any way that they come out there and stop Trevor Lawrence. We've already seen it a week ago or 2 weeks ago when Trevor Lawrence dropped 21 on them. I think they're going to come out inspired. The Titans will not. I like Trevor Lawrence this weekend. Now, we're going to go into running back. Let me see. Let me make sure Britton doesn't have anything else. I think he just had Sam Darnold. Yeah, he only had Sam Darnold. So we're going to go into running backs here. Do you want me to start running backs or do you want to start running backs? Because I think my running backs are going to absolutely steal the show, and I don't want you to get sniped, but they probably will snipe you. So speak now or forever hold your peace.
I don't think you'll snipe me on the running backs with these. You go ahead. You can start it off since I started with the quarterbacks. I think there's one that might get me, but maybe not.
All right, buddy. Well, we'll see. I'm going to start it off here with Jalen Wright at 4,200 for the Miami Dolphins going up against New England. Devon Achane is listed as doubtful, so he's not playing. Jalen Wright started the season on the IR with an ankle injury, and he did not play. But when he came back, he absolutely took over this backup running back spot from Ollie Gordon, and it wasn't even close. When Devon Achane had that rib injury in Week 14, Jalen Wright busted out with 24 carries and 104 yards in relief of Devon Achane. So Devon Achane out, Jalen Wright in this weekend against New England. He is a very similar back to Achane when it comes to pass catching. We saw it last year as well. He's back in running back one spot. Pats have clinched both the playoff spot and their division, so very little to play for New England. And Jalen Wright's listed pretty much at the bare minimum of 4,200. I think he catches some dump off deluxe action from Quinn Ewers this weekend and finds his way to above 12 fantasy points. Like him a lot this weekend, Jalen Wright. All right, next play. Tell me, do you have Jordan Mason listed on your plays?
I looked at them, but no, I don't have them written down.
You don't have him listed. All right, well, that's a mistake because Jordan Mason is taking over for Aaron Jones this weekend, who is out. Jordan Mason in weeks 3, 4, 5, and 7 without Jones averaged 10 plus fantasy points and had 4 touchdowns and 60. It was averaging 60 yards on the ground. You look at the defenses he played in that stretch. Pittsburgh, pretty solid defense against the run. Cleveland, been solid against the run early. Philadelphia, solid against the run. Those are the games he averaged 10 or more. But he absolutely torched the Cincinnati Bengals defense for 26 points in that week without Aaron Jones. So he's going up against a Green Bay defense that's already said they're resting a lot of their starters on defense. So this is an absolute juicy matchup for Jordan Mason back in the running back one spot against Green Bay. So I really like Jordan Mason at 5,200. And then I got 2 more. So Jaden Blue. You have Jaden Blue on your list? You do? All right, I won't go deep on him. Pause. I'll let you talk about him. What about Dylan Sampson? No Dylan Sampson for you. Okay, well, let's get into Dylan Sampson at 5,200 for Cleveland. Dylan Sampson is the running back one for this team. I'm going to check the snap share, and while I check the snap share, I'm going to give you some stats for him. So, best dual threat option for Cleveland this week, for sure, when it comes to passing and running the ball. He had 3 catches and 5 catches in the 2 weeks that he's been the starter. He took over for Quinshon Judkins after he had that injury. And do you know anything about Dylan Sampson when he was at Tennessee? How good he was and his stats there? Do you know anything about that? Do you remember
He
him there?
was very elite. I think he was in the running for SEC Player of the Year.
He was absolutely elite at his time at Tennessee. So I'm looking at the snap share now. It says Dylan Sampson was on the field for 35% of the snaps, with Shadur Sanders. I thought that was Rocket Sanders. Shadur Sanders, 100%. Where's Rocket Sanders? I'm trying to find Rocket Sanders on here. 42%. So you got a split there with Sampson and Rocket Sanders, but I think Sampson, in terms of pass catching, has the best chance to score a touchdown in either receiving or rushing. So yes, Dylan Sampson was the SEC Offensive Player of the Year in 2024 for the University of Tennessee, and also was a second-team All-American that year, and set the record at UT for single season rushing yards and single season touchdowns with 22. So a really special talent in Dylan Sampson. He was great in college, and I think he's going to try and showcase his ability at Cleveland this weekend. We talked about Rocket Sanders last week, also a very good running back in college. So you're kind of at a split there, but if you take a shot, throw that dart, and hit on Dylan Sampson, and a lot of people have Rocket Sanders, vice versa, could be a low-owned play. I think he's a safe bet. I think he has a solid floor with his pass catching to get close to 10 to 15 points. Now, I'll toss it to you. Go ahead and start off with your favorite play this weekend at the running back position.
Yeah, with a lot of these guys that are low salary like that, it is a dart throw, but you have to have those guys in the lineup if you're going to win. You have to have those guys that are in the low 4,000 range, and then you stack your lineup with those 7,000 guys that you know are going to be consistent and have that high floor. Touching on Jaden Blue, the Giants are 31st in rushing yards allowed. They're 26th in points allowed. The competition at running back right now is Phil Maffa, who was from Clemson, 7th rounder, and fullback Hunter Lipke. So I don't think you're going to hand off to a fullback consistently,
No.
unless you're Mike Allstott. Then maybe you get the ball consistently. But Jaden Blue has the opportunity for a dump off deluxe in that Javonte Williams role. Like, he's a better receiver than Phil Maffa, I would say. So he's going to be playing a lot of the passing downs. I think he's going to get a lot of the snap share in this one.
Let me say this about him. He averaged 3 to 4 catches a game at Texas in 2024, and also he was the second fastest running back at the NFL Combine. He ran a 4.38. Trivia question: do you know who the fastest running back was in last year's Combine besides Jadon Blue?
The fastest running back at the Combine last year.
If you don't know it, I won't waste too much time on it. I'll go ahead and say it. But he plays for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I'm assuming it was Bashal Tootin.
Bashal Tootin, 4.32. He was the fastest running back at the NFL Combine. Jadon Blue was second. That leads to some potential big play upside for Jadon Blue.
I wouldn't have got that. My first thought was Judkins.
No, Judkins definitely not running a 4.32. The guy's he's a dump truck.
He's not. But yeah, back to what we were talking about. Dylan Sampson, interesting play. I looked at him. The reason I didn't pick him is because I've gotten burned by some of these low-end running backs lately. But I'm going to have to play Jaden Blue in a lot of my lineups to get some more guys in there. But I have looked at these guys, and I kind of stuck with the mid-tier players here that I know are probably going to be more consistent. So, also, if you guys hear some noises in the background and stuff, there are some rascals shooting fireworks somewhere around me.
I don't hear anything, so you're good.
And it has caused my dog to, I don't know if he's got anxiety or what, but he is underneath my feet with like a tennis ball. And I mean, he's just going ham right now. So if you hear something that sounds like chewing, I promise it's not me. It is my dog. So, second guy I got is Tony Pollard, 5,400, which is an interesting play against Jacksonville. The only reason I would say pick him is because he's 66 yards and 2 touchdowns away from $450,000. If he can get that, then that's a productive day for him at 5,400. It is a bad matchup, but his production in the last 4 has actually been improved. And maybe with Jacksonville already clinching a playoff spot, maybe they'll get complacent. I doubt they will. Obviously, you want to have those bragging rights over the Texans. But his incentives, with Tennessee's season already being over and him being an older guy in the locker room, I expect him to try and get those yards, and I expect him to come out juiced up and ready to play. Third guy, Lord, I told myself I'd never pick him again, but I can't stay away, is Breece Hall at 6,200 against Buffalo. Buffalo's 29th in rushing yards allowed and 27th versus running backs. He has been kind of banged up, but he is going to give it a go. If he's out, his backups wouldn't be a bad play. Then I have some other guys mentioned. R.J. Harvey's not a bad play, 6,800, and Kamani Vidal is going to be starting this weekend with Amari and Hampton out. So those are all the plays I have at running back. Very interesting. Like we said, I mean, low salary guys are going to make an impact for somebody this weekend. It's just finding the right one, and that's going to be the hard part. My heart is saying Jaden Blue is going to be the guy, but
I think so too. Britton really likes Tony Pollard. Like we said about the incentive here, he needs 67 yards to get that to beat that incentive, or is it 64? Let me make sure. I think it's only 60.
I think
I
it's
think it's only
66.
66. So
I
he
think
needs
so.
66 yards, and he said in his last 4 games, he's broke 100 yards twice and 112 rush yards per game and 3 touchdowns during that stretch in the last 4 games. So averaging 19 and a half carries a game, listed at 4,900. But beware, Jacksonville has a really good rush defense, and like I said, they're going to try and win that division. So he's a cheap option, maybe low owned, but he's been really good in the last 4 weeks, and he's going to be inspired to make some of that money. So Tony Britton really likes Tony Pollard this week at 5. Uh, this is what he was saying about Spears. Tony Pollard actually listed at 5,400. I think Spears is 4,900. Tony Pollard 5,400. So those are some good running backs. Cole, I really like Jadon Blue. Like we said, we both like him a lot. And Jordan Mason. I mean, there's a lot of good running backs. And if Brees Hall doesn't play this week, you got Khalil Herbert and Keeney. I don't even know how to pronounce his name. Kene Ngannou for
This is
them.
where we
Those
need
two
Britain.
guys.
We need Britain back for this name.
When Brees Hall went out last week, those guys split snaps at about 20%. So it's really a toss up there. They'll probably be at a 50% snap share between the two. So I'm not huge on either of those guys this weekend, but if Brees Hall's out, so I think there's some other much better value options than those two Jets guys for sure. But you want to move? Let's move towards tight end, because Britain always likes to hit the wide receivers last, because that's where you can find some of the deepest volume, especially this week with all the injuries. I think wide receivers and tight ends have the biggest injury depletion I've seen all season, and I'll touch on those tight ends here. I'll start with Britain first, actually, this time. Britain really likes Chigakonkwu for the Titans, who are 25th versus the tight end position, allowing 15.7 fantasy points a game to the position. But you also got Gunnar Helm there, so there's a chance there that maybe they try to get Gunnar Helm and Cam Ward some rapport in the last game of the year and maybe rest Chig. But in the last 2 weeks, that hasn't been the case. He's had 16 and 14 and a half fantasy points. And he said, and the touchdowns he said are key in the last 2 games. He's had 2 in back-to-back weeks. He's a big fan of Chigakonkwu this week. He said, big fan. He wants to hammer Chigakonkwu.
Huge fan.
Huge. So let's talk about tight ends here. I'm going to list these injuries at the tight end position. You got Theo Johnson out, Darren Waller out, TJ Hawkinson out, Darnell Washington to the IR, Dallas Goedert out, Harold Fannin out, David Njoku out, and you got some more questionable, but those are the main guys out this week. I mean, absolutely value city / desperation at that position. I mean, that's a lot of starting tight ends out. Oh, also Tyler Higbee has been out pretty much all year. Oh, Mason Taylor also out. I mean, that's wild. I mean, that's a lot of injuries. So, do you want to start this out? What do you
Yeah,
got
I'll
a tight end
start it
for me?
off. I'll
All right,
start
go
it
ahead.
off here. I'm gonna give you a buy or sell right here. If
All right.
if you're buying or selling. So, as we just discussed, Harold Fanning is out, went down. David Njoku went down. So, a name you haven't heard in ages. Only real deep SEC fans will remember it. But Sal Cannella from Auburn came in and got 4 targets and 2 receptions and 11 yards for his mop-up duty. He came in for those two injured tight ends. They reverted him back down to the practice squad on Monday. So with those guys out and him possibly coming back, are you buying or selling his potential at the salary of $2,500?
I am selling, because I'm looking at the tight ends now for both those teams. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4. They've got 4 tight ends listed, and none of those guys shout out to me heavy volume, absolute stud. So I am selling on all Cleveland tight ends. I actually have it on here. Cleveland tight ends, absolute crapshoot. Who knows? That's the note.
I really like it if you're desperate. It's something I would keep an eye on. He did have, he had 4 targets, 2 catches in his playing time. Cincinnati is the worst ranked team against tight ends. He's built, if you remember, he's built more as a receiver. He spent a lot of his time in the UFL before the NFL, playing with, I think his Birmingham Stallions, if I remember correctly. I may be wrong though, but he's got receiving potential. He's not going to be a great inline blocker, but he is like another receiver. So it's an interesting play if you're desperate, if you have to have somebody because your salary's taken up. Another guy I got at 4,500 is Hunter Henry. I really like this matchup. He's 5 catches from 250K, and then he's 5 more additional catches, so 10 total from 500K. So I expect with how good of a rapport Drake May seems to have with Hunter Henry and his production, how it's typically pretty high or mid level, with Miami being 30th against tight ends. I think he's got a good opportunity to at least get 5 catches and make that 250K. So I think I don't want to guarantee a touchdown, but I think I'm gonna guarantee that he gets in the setup. I'll say that. Then the third and final guy I've got at 3,800 is Dalton Schultz against Indianapolis. We talk about volatile production. He's another guy that is volatile, but Indiana does let up a lot against tight ends. I think didn't they let up? They let up a touchdown to Tongas against San Francisco,
Uh,
or was it
Tongas, which one? Last week?
Yeah, against the 49ers.
Tongas plays for the 49ers. So what's she?
No, did Indianapolis let up a touchdown to Tongas?
No, I don't know. I think that was Kittle's game. I don't think so. I don't think
But
Tongas scored, but
but Indianapolis is 27th against tight ends. They're 31st in passing yards allowed, I believe. So or 21st. So the passing yards are going to be there. Houston has to win this game to remain competitive or to try and clinch the AFC division they're in against with
AFC
Jacksonville.
South, I think.
Yeah. They're playing. They're trying to go against Jacksonville to clinch it. So I'm expecting them to try and put up a lot of points, and obviously they're going to have to win the game, so they're going to be aggressive. So Dalton Schultz is a play I like, especially with their receiving core. Man, I mean, honestly, it goes with C.J. Stroud. It goes like the production goes with C.J. Stroud. Nico Collins can have a really good game, but outside of those guys, I mean, Higgins and all those other guys are very questionable. So Schultz is a good receiving option as well. So those are my 3 tight ends that I like. But Gabe, give me the deep cuts. Who's a guy I've never heard of that's going to be starting for the New York Jets this week?
The New York Jets actually have had a pretty consistent fill-in for the tight end position. I'm not huge on the Jets tight ends with Brady Cook operating that offense. As you can imagine, he's pretty trash. I mean, they did sign Jeremy Ruckert to that $10 million deal. He's had 3 targets in back-to-back weeks. I just don't like it at all, to be honest with you. But you've got a lot of tight ends heading into next year as a free agent playing this weekend. Grant Calcaterra filling in for Dallas Goedert will be a unrestricted free agent next year. He's at 2,600. He will play a lot of the snaps, I believe, in a game that pretty much means nothing for Philly. If Jalen Hurts gets taken out, who's the backup in Philly? Is it Kenny Pickett? Who's the backup? You remember?
I think Tanner McKee's getting the start.
Tanner McKee's getting the start. I did not see that.
Yeah,
He's getting
Tanner McKee is getting the start. Let me check and confirm.
Tanner McKee getting the start. Wow, I did not see that. Oh wow, I see this. Much of the starters are expected to rest for Philly. Oh my gosh, that scares
McKee
me.
is
With
expected
Saquon.
to start Sunday's game.
Oh okay. Well, yeah. Then I think then I definitely think Calcaterra will be on the field. Then he has not been on the field a lot with Goddard this year, taking over the majority of the snaps. So I think Calcaterra is a pretty solid bet at 2,600. But Greg Dulcich filling in for Darren Waller. We got the old our dad hit us with the Greg Dulcich 558 yards and a touchdown. Obviously, Quinn Ewers likes throwing to him, and they're going up against New England. Also, not really anything to play for since they've already clinched both the division and a playoff spot. So there's just so many value tight ends that you have to find things that they want to play for. Whether it's them being an unrestricted free agent, they're trying to get re-signed, they're trying to meet incentives, they're trying to milestones. Daniel Bellinger for the New York Giants is an unrestricted free agent next year, filling in for Theo Johnson. That's another guy listed at 2,900. That's going to be on the field a lot, most likely trying to put some stuff on tape. And then Darren Waller, who's out, is an unrestricted free agent. Noah Fant for Cincinnati, unrestricted free agent next year. Austin Hooper, Kyle Pitts, Tyler Higbee. And there's just a lot of tight ends going to be free agents next year. But my favorite tight end play this weekend for the New Orleans Saints, Jawan Johnson. With Chris Olave out, 4,200, he needs 172 yards to reach 1,000, to reach that milestone. Will they try and force feed him the ball to get 172? I don't know. But if you think that those players don't know that he needs 472 yards to reach 1,000, I guarantee he's in Shaw's ear because they have nothing to play for, and Atlanta is out of the playoffs as well. So at this point, it's playing for milestones, and it's a rivalry game with no
Yeah,
Olave.
I'll touch on that a little bit since I watch him. He's been there for years. He's a locker room guy. Everybody loves him. Uh, Tyler Shuck played with him at Oregon. They have a relationship prior to him playing with New Orleans. So I mean, 100 and that's a lot of yards for
It's,
Juwan,
it's
but
a lot of yards, but there's nothing between.
he is like one of the only competent receivers that's going to be playing for New
Yeah.
Orleans this weekend. So
Yeah, Michael Mayer playing against Kansas City once again. He had 17 fantasy points last week. His salary stayed at 3,500 with Brock Bowers on IR. I mean, the value options at tight end are insane. So I don't really know what that means for the whole slate because you could pretty much just drag your finger below 3,000 and pick a starting tight end. So I think there needs to be some variety at the tight end position when you're making your lineups. I think that's a position you're going to have to vary it up a little bit. You're not going to be able to have the same guy in every single lineup just because there's so many options, and you got to try and find that guy that pops off at the value spot. But maybe it's one of those times that all those tight ends end up getting very similar production. It doesn't matter who you start since there's so many options. But like I said, I like Theo Johnson or not Theo Johnson, Jawan Johnson, who needs 172 yards, and also Grant Calcaterra. I think he plays a lot of the snap. Those are my two guys. Britton has, let me make sure. Oh, yeah, he already had Chig. I already mentioned him. So let's move on to the wide receiver position. Britton just sent a text message that says, put Dante Pettis in my value wide receiver uh, plays. I'm not sure I love it that much, but he did play 60+% of the snaps last week for New Orleans. Mason Tipton is out. Also, Olave is out. He's at 3,100. Maybe he's a guy that separates your team and made you some money.
yeah,
Britton's,
he's got the potential to touch the ball a lot. He's a return man too.
yeah,
He's going to play that Vele role. He's going to be a deep threat. But he's he's got potential.
yep. Britton's favorite receiver play this weekend is Khalil Shakir against the New York Jets at 5,000, trying to meet those incentives of 8 receptions for 150K, 1 touchdown for 150K, 2 touchdowns for 300K. So he's got it listed as $550,000, but I think he's off on that. I think it's a total of 450,000 if he meets all 3 of those incentives, 8 catches for 2 touchdowns. And this is why I'm going to talk about the Buffalo Bills for a second because I didn't mention Dawson Knox, but we did mention his incentives earlier in the episode where he needs 6 catches and 1 touchdown to get his incentive. If Josh Allen plays in this game, even if he doesn't, if Mitchell Trubisky plays in this game, if Josh Allen sits, if they say he's not playing, you could find yourself in a spot if you think they're going to try and fire sale and absolutely just get these guys this money. You have to put in the quarterback for the Buffalo Bills because at a bare minimum, if he throws 3 touchdowns, 2 to Shakir and 1 to Dawson Knox, that's 12 fantasy points already on the board for you. And Mitchell Trubisky is listed at 5,100. And if he's a starter, I think Mitchell Trubisky, Khalil Shakir, and Dawson Knox is a 3-way stack, that you could make some serious money on this weekend. I like it a lot, especially going up against the Jets, who Drake May just torched for, I think, 4 touchdowns and moved the ball at ease. The New York Jets have the first overall pick pretty much secured at 89% as long as they, or is it the Raiders? Is the Raiders? No, the Raiders have the number 1 pick pretty much cemented if they lose this weekend at 89%. So Vegas loses, they get the number 1 pick. The New York Jets want to get that number 2 pick. They are definitely going to try and lose this weekend against Buffalo. So keep watching that news on Josh Allen. if he doesn't play, three-way stack, Shakir Knox and Trubisky. I like it a lot when they meet those incentives. They're definitely going to try to get those guys that incentive in a game that means nothing, for sure. Make that money, guys. And then Cole, that's Britain's. What does your wide receiver picks look like? I'll round it out at the end because I've got some deep cuts.
Yeah, going back to that draft talk, I really think the Jets are going to make an insane push for that first overall pick. They've stockpiled. I know what you're saying. You're saying it's not going to happen. You don't.
They can't. If Vegas wins, Vegas is 89%.
No, what
Basically,
I'm
that
saying
means
is they've acquired draft capital to where they would trade their pick and another first round pick that they got
to
this
get
year
that pick.
to get that first overall.
I got you.
I mean, not relevant for the podcast we're talking about now. That's just my prediction.
Yeah.
I'm honestly jealous of the position that they are in. I wish the Saints took a position like that, but all good. Decided we wanted to win. Also, just decided we wanted to win the last 5 games whenever we needed a good draft pick. But
you got your quarterback, dude. You don't need that pick. You got your quarterback. You got him last year.
Shuck on, baby. So, yeah, my first receiver that I've got picked is Parker Washington, 5,500 against Tennessee. In a win and clinch scenario, he's going to need a big day. He's had 10 targets in his last 2 games, 10 targets apiece in his last 2 games. He had 29.5 and 22 in his last 2 games. And so far, shockingly, which I would have never guessed, he's looked better than Jacoby Myers and Brian Thomas Jr. this year, which is just astounding to me. It's unbelievable to think about. I know Britton's a big fan of this guy. I know he likes Parker Washington. He's mentioned him a few times in the past. Tennessee's defense, like you said, is decent, solid, but they can get got on the passing side. So that's one guy I've got listed. Another guy, golly, man, shoot myself in the foot on this one. Justin Jefferson, 5,800 against Green Bay.
Again, huh? You're going back to the well.
Just because Green Bay's resting their key players for the playoffs. And Justin Jefferson needs 53 yards for a 6 straight 1,000-yard season. And if I know receivers, that matters.
Yeah.
That matters. I watched Mike Evans last year when the Bucs were playing the Saints. Baker Mayfield lined the ball up with 20 seconds left in a blowout.
Oh, yeah,
to get Mike Evans that last catch to get over 1,000 yards and keep his streak alive.
Yep.
And for some reason, Dennis Allen decided to just let him do it instead of taking away the rivals' potential happiness. But J.J. McCarthy is back, going to be back this week, which gives him a better opportunity. And Hawkinson's out, Aaron Jones is out. Possibly more touches come from Justin Jefferson. Jordan Addison wouldn't be a bad fade play on Justin Jefferson. It seems one of them tends to go off. If one goes off, the other one doesn't, and then and vice versa and all that. So that's my second guy. Third guy, I'm going against Britton's pick with Dante Pettis, and I'm going Kevin Austin Jr. at 3,400 against Atlanta. They're playing for Tyler Shuck's Rookie of the Year, and the Saints want that bad. They're advocating for it real bad. So the 26-year-old might have a chance of Rookie of the Year. Kevin Austin Jr. somehow became wide receiver 1 in the span of 2 weeks, which is terrifying. Due to all the Saints wide receiver deaths, everybody just died at receiver. He did have a tight end last week against the Titans. Somebody's got to get the catches. And Kevin Austin played above 80% of the snaps last week. He had the most on anybody on offense the snaps played. So Kevin Austin Jr., give him to me, and let's ride. Gabe, what do you got?
Right. I've got 4 guys. Kevin Austin is one of them. I'll go ahead and finish him off. Pause. 86% of the snaps, 81% of the snaps, back-to-back weeks. Only 5 targets, 3 targets, 5 targets in those 3 weeks. So averaging about 4 targets a game. With Noah Olave, he's a dart throw. He's going to be on the field a lot against Atlanta. I think him and Pettis, once again, just one of those dart throws. You got to get lucky if you're going to take it. Neither of those guys has any track record to say he's a for sure pick. So let's move on to the New York Giants receiver room with Wan'Dale Robinson out with a rib injury. Got Darius Slayton at 4,100, who only needs 500 yards to reach 1,000. If he can get 500 yards this Sunday, he'll reach 1,000 yards for the season.
The only thing holding him back is him.
Can he get 500 yards? Maybe not. Maybe he can. Who knows? Why not? Why not try at least? My favorite play for the Giants, though, is not Slayton. It's Isaiah Hodgins at 3,100. Very intriguing. They tried to get him involved once they signed him off the practice squad week 12 and week 11. He had 6 targets a game and a touchdown in one of those games. It was a good spot for him with Noah Wandell. He's been second in snaps for them at the wide receiver position. Even with Wandell Robinson playing, he was second in snaps above Slayton at 81% last week. So Isaiah Hodgins at 3,100, moving to wide receiver 2, potentially wide receiver 1, I think is a very, very good play this week for the New York Giants against Dallas. And Marquise Brown, he is a unrestricted free agent at the end of this year. You know what that means? He wants to get stuff on tape so that he can get that money. Also needs 1 touchdown, like we said, for 750,000. He's wide receiver 1 with no Olave this week. He's doubtful. No Rice. In week 1, with no Rice and no Worthy, after Worthy had that shoulder injury, he had 16 targets with Pat Mahomes at quarterback, 10 catches. So this week with Olajuwon, I think the Olajuwon Marquise Brown stack is going to hit like crack, and you're going to be chasing that high for the rest of your life.
Wow,
Those guys.
that's. I guarantee you, the high you get from that is better than is stronger than anything on the streets for sure.
Yeah,
but Lord have mercy, it could also be a dud, and you could also end up with baking soda instead of the good stuff.
I love the Olajuwon Marquise Brown stack this weekend. It's my favorite stack, I think. Besides if Mitchell Trubisky, if the news comes out that Trubisky is playing the whole game, the Dawson Knox, Shakir, Trubisky triple stack. That's a great stack too. But I'm rolling with Olajuwon and Marquise Brown against Vegas. Both those guys have a lot to prove and a lot needed to put on tape because Olajuwon, I don't know if he thinks he's going to be a starter in the NFL. He definitely wants to prove that he can be or at least get paid somewhere else. And like I said, Marquise Brown, unrestricted free agent, must get that money. Now, for the Pittsburgh Steelers, Calvin Austin is back from injury. He missed last week. He's at 3,100. An absolutely insane price for Calvin Austin, who was battling with DK Metcalf for wide receiver 1, if you believe it or not. He outproduced him in a few weeks this season. They are playing the Baltimore Ravens with DK Metcalf still serving that suspension. They're playing winner to get in against Baltimore. And I think Aaron Rodgers is going to look for Calvin Austin a lot. Actually, he's at 3,200, not 3,100. So he's a little extra 100 salary there. But he's not the wide out that you put on the outside. He's more of a slot gadget guy. So he'll be away from Marlon Humphrey most likely. I think the Adam Thielen and Marquez Valdez-Scantling will be those outside guys, and you'll get Calvin Austin in a good spot inside in the slot. I like Calvin Austin a lot this weekend. That's a crazy price. I can't believe he's that cheap this weekend as wide receiver 1 in a win or go home must-win game with Aaron Rodgers. That's a crazy price.
I can't get past DK Metcalf and how bad of a situation or how much he hurt his team with the actions that he did.
Oh yeah, he absolutely destroyed that. I mean, that is one of the worst decisions in hindsight. Like not being able to look at the scenario, look what's going on, and just be like, yeah, I probably shouldn't do this. Actually, it's probably a bad idea.
Yeah, a potential risk for that little of value.
I mean, I think about it. He lost a chance to send his team to the playoffs. He probably lost a lot of fan support. $48 million he lost. He voided that by getting suspended 2 years. I mean, absolute stupidity. I got to be honest.
And allegedly, it was because he got called his government name.
Yes, he got called.
I mean, if that bothers you, what would an NFL corner say to you? I
mean, where's the limit? I mean, where do you stop? Where do you draw the line?
You just let them know. You just let them know that calling them by your actual name is going to get.
Dude,
have you act
you're
out.
really messed up. That's true. Well, let's get off DK Metcalf. He knows he made a mistake. Hopefully, probably not, but who knows? I mean, the Pittsburgh fans are definitely very, very upset, I'm sure, with a winner
I don't
go
blame
home
him.
game.
I don't blame him in the slightest. I'd be pissed.
Yeah. Let's talk core four. I'm gonna go first with a quick queue up the plum pick while I give Britain's core four my core four. I've got
Right?
Sam Darnold for Britain. He's got Sam Darnold as a score four, Tony Pollard, Chig Okonkwo, and he said give him Khalil Shakir as his core four. I have in my core four, I'm going Chris Oladukin against Vegas, Jaden Blue against New York Giants, Hollywood Brown, and then I'm going to go with Jawan Johnson at 4,200 against Atlanta in my core four. I always try to get one player at each position, and I think Jawan Johnson probably has the safest floor of all the above 4,000 options, besides anybody named Trey McBride. Uh, but I could easily see myself sneaking in another one of those sneaky tight ends like Greg Dulcich at 2,600. And you may have an update to my core four in the text thread before the games kick off tomorrow. But for now, that is my core four. What do you have as your core four?
Yeah, my core four, I've got Parker Washington, Dalton Schultz, Jackson Dart, and Jaden Blue.
Okay. All right. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you got the plum pick. You got it ready? You got it queued up?
Got it ready to go. You ready to go?
All right, I'm ready. Let's do it. Let's get to the plum
Can you
pick.
feel the tension in the air right now? I know I can. I can feel it all the way down in my plums.
I love it. All right, I'm going to start with you. Actually, you start with your lineup. I'm going to see if I can find Britain's lineup in here somewhere. I don't remember him sending
We're
one,
doing
so
plum picks, man. I ain't got no lineup pulled up yet.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Give me your plum pick. Go ahead. Who's your plum pick this week?
Give me Kevin Austin Jr.
Kevin Austin Jr. All right, Britain. I think based on the
Wait,
text
you know
messages
what? Wait, they're talking to me right now.
that.
I'm gonna take a risk. We gotta find some kind of multiplier for players that may not play. If Sal Canella comes up off the practice squad and plays, give me Sal Canella. Let's go risky for the biscuit.
I'm gonna go Britain's plum pick. I think he would accept this. He's going Dante Pettis. I think at 3,100. He sent that in late. I think that was his plums talking to him. If we're being honest, that's just my
quick chat. A little
yeah.
quick chat.
I think that's what was calling to him. Mine's Isaiah Hodgins at 3,100. That's my plum pick for the Giants. I like Hodgins this week. Maybe catch a touchdown, get above 9 points. Now, Britain did not send me his lineup, so we don't have a lineup for Britain. Cole, you go ahead and hit me with what's your lineup? You got two, right? You got one for Saturday. You got one for Sunday.
Yep, got one Saturday through Sunday, and then one main slate on Sunday. So we'll start with Saturday, Sunday. Saturday, Sunday, I've got Sam Darnold at QB1, Jaden Blue, 4,300, Chase Brown, 7,600, Justin Jefferson, 5,800, Jackson Smith and Jigba, 8,600, Michael Wilson with no Marvin Harrison Jr., 6,600, Dalton Schultz, 3,800, Tony Pollard at 5,400, and the Chargers defense.
All right. Is that both of them?
That's Saturday through Sunday.
Oh, okay. Do you have another just Sunday only or no?
Yeah, Sunday only. I've got Drake May, 7,100. Jaden Blue, 4,300. Chase Brown, 7,600. Kevin Austin Jr., 3,400. CeeDee Lamb, 7,300. Parker Washington, 5,100. Dalton Schultz, 3,800. And Puka Nakua at 9,000. And the Chargers defense.
All right. Be prepared to adjust that Drake May because I don't think he's going to play this weekend. They've secured both spots. But you can find a quarterback there and bump your defense up for sure in that spot. So no worries there. He may play. I don't know. He is battling for the MVP, like you said. So he might end up.
I was reading. Hold on, let me find what I was reading. What they're playing for here. They have something to play for.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll go with the AI optimal lineup. And what the AI is rolling out this weekend, they're going to go with Trevor Lawrence, and then they're going to go Kyron Williams, Jahmyr Gibbs, Darius Slayton, Jerry Jeudy, Puka Nakua, Jawan Johnson, AJ Barner, and the Broncos defense. They're going double tight end again. I've checked the winning lineup every week this year. Recently, in the last 3 weeks, the double tight end lineups have absolutely crushed. Last week, Trey McBride and Michael Mayer were in the winning lineup again for the million. I mean, it is double tight end has been on fire this year, and an AI optimal lineup has been hammering it. I don't necessarily blame them. It's
All
been
right,
pretty
I
good.
found it.
What is it?
The Patriots have to win and the Broncos lose or tie and the Broncos lose to get the number 1 seed in the AFC.
Okay. So they're playing Miami. So,
Mhm.
yeah, he's going to have to – that helps us out with Diggs too, I think. I think Diggs and Drake May, that might be a stack for you if you like Diggs a lot. My team for the Saturday through Sunday, Sam Darnold, 5,800, Jaden Blue, 4,300, Jordan Mason, 5,200, Marquise Brown, 4,000, Nico Collins for Houston, trying to get the win the division. Nico Collins, 7,000. Then the Jackson Smith and Jigba stack, 8,600 with Sam Darnold. Jawan Johnson, 4,200. And then I'm going Derrick Henry at 7,700 playing that night game on Sunday versus Pittsburgh. Absolute stud last week, 4 touchdowns. Lamar Jackson says he will play, but he's going to have a heavy brace on his back. So I expect him to lean heavy on Derrick Henry again in a must-win game. It worked for him last week. Chiefs defense, 3,200 against Vegas, who will not be trying to win that game. So maybe they get a few turnovers there, the Chiefs defense. That is my Saturday through Sunday. Now, my Sunday only. This is where you get some studs here. You got Chris Oladukin at 4,500, Jaden Blue, Jordan Mason again, Hollywood Brown stack, Chris Oladukin going to hit like crack. Nico Collins 7,000, Stephon Diggs 6,300, Trey McBride 7,500, who's trying to get that 1,400 yards, I think, that for a tight end position. Jahmyr Gibbs 8,000 against Chicago. That's a rivalry game. I think Detroit's going to try and beat Chicago for sure. Maybe they lean a little bit more on Gibbs this week. And then Chiefs defense again at 3,200. Those are my 2 lineups. Here we go. Britton Flowers from the top rope with this.
I mean, are we streaming live right now? How do you manage to time that up so good? Man.
I texted him. So
okay, I see it.
I texted him. Sam Darnold, 5,800. Derrick Henry, 7,700. Tony P, 5,400. Diggs, 6,300. Slayton, 4,100. Jackson Smith and Jigba stack, 8,600. Hunter Henry, 4,500. Khalil Shakir, 5,000. And the Saints defense. I like that lineup too. I like that lineup, and he's got some good guys in there. He's got some studs.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that is the end of our value picks, lineups, core 4, and plum pick. Do you have anything else you want to add? Any surprises to the? Do we need to add anything?
No surprises, man. I hate it.
Keep an eye on the news, man. Keep an eye on the news this weekend. Injuries and people sitting out. Cole hit me with the Philadelphia Eagles are starting Tanner McKee. I had no idea that was happening.
Yeah, I usually get criticized for my lack of research, and the biggest nerd of us all didn't have freaking research done this week, I guess.
It didn't say anything about Jalen Hurts. It didn't say out or anything. It said Tanner McKee was starting. I didn't see that. It didn't. What is Tanner McKee's price? Honestly, we might have to throw Tanner McKee in there at 4,000.
I certainly wouldn't. I can't believe you're starting Calcaterra, but
I didn't say I was starting Calcaterra.
Oh, you had him picked. I couldn't believe you had him picked. Even with Jalen Hurts healthy, he doesn't throw to him.
Tanner McKee at 4,500. That might be a play, buddy, against Washington. That might be a play.
I mean, comments, incentive-wise, hate it for Debo. He's not going to get there. Bless his soul. Yeah, it's just a fun week, man. Week 18 is always fun. It's always
this is what I'll say about Week 18. This is my strategy going into it. I think it's a winning strategy, if I'm going to be honest. Take your core 4. This is a week that you have to be absolutely solid on the core 4 because there's going to be so much variance with all the different options you can have with low salary players and chalky plays. Like I said, the tight end position is so scattered. You've got to put that core 4 in, and you've got to build around it, and you got to stick to it because you're going to have to reduce the variance. And if those 4 guys hit that you put in, if you can build around with some random plays, could lead you to a pretty solid week this week. And like I said, my core 4, Chris Oladukin, Jaden Blue, Hollywood, and Jawan Johnson. I'm probably going to have them in every lineup, and I'll build around that with some variance. Maybe Jawan Johnson will get taken out because there's so much variance at tight end position. Might have to go Jordan Mason and put him in as my or Jalen Wright actually, maybe. But you said you flipped me on New England because I didn't realize New England was still had something to play for. So I thought they were going to be out there with some backups.
Yeah, man. I mean, I had another thought. Week 18, you can get a lot of suckers in Week 18 that aren't paying attention in these lineups. And your opportunity, if you pick the right players that are going to play more because these teams have a lot less to play for, you have the opportunity to win a good amount of money. Because there are going to be people that are starting the players that aren't playing. Like somebody's going to have Jalen Hurts, I know for a fact, at that salary.
His name's Dustin Wagner. Dad.
Yeah, somebody's gonna have Jalen Hurts. Somebody's gonna have these guys that aren't playing.
Somebody's gonna have AJ
Josh Jacobs. Somebody's gonna have Josh Jacobs.
Yeah. Somebody's gonna have AJ Brown, Devontae Smith. They'll have Puka Nacua, who I mean Puka Nacua, if you watch the snap count, was down last week. They're going against Arizona. They've already said that they might not give Stafford, Puka, all those guys a full allotment of snaps because they can't really adjust their position in the playoffs between the 5th and the 6th seed. And I think they actually have a better matchup if they lose. So I don't like Puka this week. Really,
they said they're not. They said McVay said they're not sitting guys. Now how true that is, I guess it'll, like we talked about, depend on the game script. Obviously, they're going to want to win. I can find the game here, what they're playing for. I'll be able to read. There we go. The Rams need to win, and the Seahawks need to win to have any shot at the 5 seed.
Yeah, but it says that if they're just playing for the 5 and 6 seed, what I'm reading says that it's entirely plausible that Stafford and other key vets won't play a full allotment of snaps in Week 18.
Yeah, and Sean McVay said he won't play starters in Week 18.
Yeah. So Seattle plays on Saturday night, so that could determine the Rams.
I'll alter my lineup that has Puka in it too. In fact, I'll go ahead and change it now. That way we can upload it on the video and it'll be changed. Let's see, who can I substitute for Puka Nacua right now? Let's go live here. He's the highest salary player. We got room. I'm thinking, give me. Man, the Saints are good on defense. Man. Give me James Cook.
Okay.
He's not sitting out, is he?
Like I said, the Bills is risky. I think you should do JSN.
It's the Sunday lineup. It's not.
Sunday only. You can maybe get Jamar in there.
I can, but I mean the Browns are decent.
Yeah.
He's got a high floor. I'm going Jamar Chase. He's the next highest floor. That frees up $800 salary.
All right. You heard it here first. Well, that's our Week 18 opinions and value plays. Good luck, Cole. Send us off with. Do you have any sound queued up? You can send us off with any sound.
I don't have any sound queued up for this.
All right. Well, we'll just send it off. See ya.